Hey everyone, I've been spending the last few weeks slowly going through and updating the assets. So I was trying out a lot of AI generated stuff like the zombies, which you won't see, but I had ones that I really liked. And yeah, I didn't want to keep going down the AI generated path. So I've removed like everything that was starting to be AI generated. So the character images were the new zombies, which I've now put what you'll see. They're ones of hand drawn. They're not that good, but yeah, they'll do for now. And I want to show kind of how I went about it because, yeah, like I was dreading doing it, but I kind of made it modular and approached it like I would programming. So it made it more fun and yeah, it makes it so I can make all sorts of different zombies. But yeah, that's changed the skybox. Even the 3D models of the guns, some of them were AI generated. So I've removed them and just put a basic guns in for now. So yeah, we'll get into it. So first thing I've removed is those character images, which I'm going to maybe change to like a character type selection, where you select the different eyes, nose, mouth, hair, and things like that, and it affects the stats of the character you play in the game. And then you can change it as you go. And then coming into the game, I've changed the textures here. They weren't AI. I just had a pixelated effect and yeah, simplified. And if you notice, I've added a shader, a Cel Shader, for a real cartoon effect on the 3D models. So that's pulling a lot of the visual weight. And yeah, those zombies there are hand drawn in Photoshop, and I'll show you how I went about doing them. So this is how I've kind of done the characters. So I started with drawing this base image, and this base image is a series of layers. So there's like a bunch of layers for his head, a bunch of layers for his legs, and like that section of his leg is different to that section and so on. And then, because this was the only way I kind of thought I would enjoy it, to do this modular way of creating characters. And then, so I'll show this first. Let's take his leg, well, not his left foot, but lower left leg, which is his lower left, not our view of left. And then we've got the skin layer. Below that is the flesh layer, and then the bone layer. The thing with the legs, it's all janky because I was trying to animate in Photoshop, and I got to like frame 4, and I tried to do rotation and scaling effects on frame 4, and the things I did affected frame 1. And by the time I realized it was modifying the first frame, I'd lost all the history, so I couldn't revert it back to the normal position. So it's all got this jank look now, just for the legs though. See, like even the flesh. And I spent ages just trying to get this, so I couldn't be bothered fixing it. But like, say the body, that one's not janky, but yeah, the skin, flesh, and so yeah, below all that is a full hand-drawn skeleton, which took a long time. And then the flesh is simply his skin, but with a color and then a sponge effect. And then yeah, the other parts is all hand drawn as well. So the thing I did this way is, say I want to, like, if we erase, I'm going by one hand, erase a chunk of the skin layer, and then the flesh layer as well to reveal, yeah, but it would look a lot neater than that. But yeah, and that's how I kind of did this. So as well with this one, I've got clothes clothes layer. And then, yeah, the skin layer's got chunks erased from it. And then, like the leg there, the hand, even his face has the flesh layer removed as well. And then, yeah, added these clothes on top. So that's what I can do with most of the zombie characters. Everything's small because I got an old version of Photoshop. So yeah, this is what I'll go with for now. And I've started doing the female version. I've only got the male one pretty much done. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And how it looked in the game was alright. So that's for the characters. So I talked about it a little bit at the start of the video, but I'll talk about it some more. But this I might be replacing. So either I'm going to draw each of these separate characters and have different skill trees for each, or I'm going to have just one. It would be like a face, and then you can cycle between different hairstyles, eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, anything I can think of. And depending on what you cycle, adjusts your character stats for that level. So like maybe you'll give it sunglasses, and then that may make your character move 5% faster. Or if you switch it to like, I don't know, brown eyes, they'll do 2% more damage. Things like that. So it gives a bit of agency. So you can create the character with whatever base stats you want, and that can be per level. So like you do that, and then you do a forest playthrough, and then you on the next one you want to make some changes, so you put a different hairstyle or something, and then there can be unlocks with that too. So yeah, that I was thinking go down that path instead, because as well, yeah, then the skill tree can be one big giant skill tree like Path of Exile does. So yeah, that's the change. And then I was kind of, because I spent so much time on getting that partial draw on scroll working so nice, I didn't want to remove it. But yeah, I guess the inventory will still have it. So yeah, getting into the level now. So yeah, it's got this now, like I've drawn this, but I'll remove. But that's kind of a template. So like I've still got the FOV up. So like the enemies, these can be sprites too, and they can just be little bushes. The trees and the crates will still be true 3D. Yeah, like if you see here, I've simplified the textures there. Like the trees just brown, and that's all just plain green. And I've added a shader effect, Cel Shader effect, to give that cartoon look, which is doing most of the work in the look now, but I think it looks alright. And yeah, and then the zombies moved in there. They're the ones I actually drew. So yeah, instead of, yeah, the AI generated ones looked good. Like they looked a lot better than this, but they were AI generated. Whereas these are my own work at least. And that means now there's no AI generated assets anymore, and by the time I release I won't use any AI generated stuff. And I think it came alright. I wasn't too happy with how it looked when I made them, but how they look in game looks alright, like with the grass and that, and then they have that cartoon style I wanted for the game. So yeah, it kind of looks alright. And then with what I showed with the modular zombies, there won't just be one type, there'll be all different types, so it gives some variance. So as well, if I so these I still have to change, but yeah, the 3D models there really basic, and the cel shading applies to them and the bullets as well. So on the bullets it makes it pretty, the bullets are pretty clear, so yeah, happy with that. And they're coming direct. It's harder to see in normal speed, but if I slow down time, you can see they're coming straight out of the guns there. And all that work. I don't know how loud the background still is, so I put it lower. Yeah, and then in the slow you can really see the SpriteSheet effect going there. So for this one there was 19 frames, I think it was, of animation. But yeah, it's just like how in some of the things I did in Battle Court, just SpriteSheet effects. That health bar is blocking a bit. I have to fix the health bars displays too. Yeah, so you can. Looks good. Yeah. So yeah, I think it came out alright. And then yeah, the skybox looks a bit jagged because the sky cross conversion in the software I use to convert it to sky sphere kind of turns into this rough. So I have to try and figure it out. I mean, that's temporary anyway, that skybox. Yeah, of the things I'm happy with is the zombies, the bullets, positioning, and then yeah, with FOV, so I've changed, the guns used to be fixed position no matter what FOV you had, but the problem with that is the bullets wouldn't always come out of the gun's position. So yeah, now the guns are also affected by the FOV change. So yeah, really highlighting the bullets, positioning, and I was happy to still have all of that because I spent so much time on all that with the 3D engine. So yeah, so they're the things I'm happy with in the trees. I think they look alright with their Cel Shader, and to actually get a proper shader in was like best feeling because I never have been able to get the shaders working properly for some reason. This one came out alright, but it's not like that good, so I've kept it thin because if it gets thicker it starts looking a bit off, because all it is I just so there's no background noise, but all it is the same image drawn behind it as black. So that's why you can't see it at the bottom there, because the actual model goes underneath the ground. If the model was lifted a bit, you would see it at the bottom, but the bottom of the model is like a stump, so it has to go in the ground. But yeah, and those models, they are bought off Unity Asset Store. Just the textures I did myself. Same with the crate, that was the part of the same asset pack of the trees. I've got a whole bunch, but I'm not using them. The crate was the same, and then I did the textures for the crates myself. And then yeah, the UI and all that I've done myself, so it wasn't much AI work that I had to remove anyway. It was just the characters I put because I really wanted the characters to look nice. But if I'm going down the other way, it should work out all right. And then, yeah, like this level has wood. It'll also have iron and gold to collect. And then other levels are going to have different things that'll slowly upgrade your gameplay over time. It's like, say, with this one with wood, you can then use it to spawn in a crate, then you break it and get, I don't know, parts. That was the other thing. So currently it's just the guns, like how Battle Court was, but what I was thinking is having the guns also modular. So instead of getting guns drop or to select as you level up, so there's already currently the mods which you apply to your character through the gameplay, and then there's the guns that you can try and get in the same way Battle Court is with the random stats. Or what I was thinking is have the base weapon and then you get parts and then you modify your base weapon with the certain parts you want to like upgrade the fire rate or the damage. And then you can add and remove a whole bunch of different parts and give this modular play as well. Kind of like how Noita is with the wands. So yeah, that was another thing I was thinking. But yeah, I wanted to make this one to be a small scope game to get another release finally out with the 3D engine, but I get these ideas that will take a long time, but I think they'll be really cool. So I don't know if I'll go down that way. But yeah, that's currently where everything is. And yeah, I'm happy with some of the things